We've all been there, staring at that one task you know you need to do, but you just can't bring yourself to start. You tell yourself, I'll do it later, but later never seems to come. This isn't because you're lazy. This is what I call the procrastination paradox. Most people think procrastination is a character flaw, a sign of laziness, but it's not. It's almost always a symptom of something else, like a fear of failure, the feeling of being totally overwhelmed by a big project, or just not knowing where to start. That mountain of work feels too big to climb, so you just stay at the bottom. To overcome this, we don't need willpower. We need a simple, reliable framework. Here's a 3-step method you can use right now. Chapter 1. The why behind procrastination. Most people think procrastination is a character flaw, a sign of laziness. But it's not. It's a deeply rooted psychological response, a kind of self-defense mechanism. It's almost always a symptom of something else going on under the surface. It's the silent alarm bell that something isn't right with our approach. The first reason we get stuck is fear of failure. We look at a task, and our brain immediately starts running simulations. What if I can't do it perfectly? What if my work isn't good enough? We hold ourselves to such a high standard that it feels safer not to even try. So, instead of facing that fear, we reach for a distraction. We check social media, we watch a video, anything to avoid confronting the potential of falling short. Then there's the feeling of overwhelm. We stare at a project, and all we see is a giant, intimidating mountain of work. It's not just one thing. It's 100 things piled on top of each other. The sheer scale of it paralyzes us. Our brain goes into flight or fight mode and decides it's easier to just do nothing at all than to attempt to tackle such an insurmountable challenge. And finally, a major roadblock is a simple lack of clarity. We sit down at our desk, laptop open, and we have no idea where to start. We know the big goal, but we haven't identified the first small step. This makes the task feel abstract and impossible to engage with. It's like trying to navigate a dense fog. You can see a vague destination, but you can't see the path right in front of you. And without a clear path, you're not going anywhere. Chapter 2. The How, a 3-step framework. Step 1. The 5-minute rule. The most difficult part of any task is almost always the beginning. Your brain sees the entire project and immediately gets overwhelmed. The goal of the 5-minute rule is to bypass that fear and simply get started. The rule is simple. Commit to working on the task for just 5 minutes. That's it. You don't have to finish it. You don't have to make significant progress. You only have to get started. This is a powerful psychological hack. The resistance you feel is at its peak before you begin. Once you start, you build a small amount of momentum, which makes it much easier to keep going. Think of it like a boulder on a hill. It's incredibly difficult to move from a standstill, but once it starts rolling, it builds unstoppable force. So set a timer for 5 minutes and just open the file, write one sentence, or do one small research query. Once the timer goes off, you have full permission to stop. You'll be surprised how often you decide to keep going. Step 2. The task breakdown. The feeling of being overwhelmed is often a direct result of trying to look at a huge, complex project all at once. The key to tackling this is to turn that intimidating mountain into a series of small, manageable molehills. This is a crucial step for gaining clarity and a sense of control. Start by writing down the main project. For example, let's say your goal is to clean the garage. This feels like a massive, multi-day task. Now break it down into the smallest possible actions. Instead of clean the garage, you have move all the boxes from the left wall. Sort one box of old tools. Sweep the first quarter of the floor. You're no longer staring at a massive project. You're looking at a checklist of simple, achievable actions. This gives your brain a clear, concrete path forward and a sense of accomplishment with every item you check off. You can see your progress, which fuels your motivation to keep going. Step 3. The reward and reset. We are not machines. We cannot work for 8 hours straight without a break. A productive day isn't about endurance. It's about working in focused sprints, followed by intentional rest. After you complete one of those small, broken-down tasks, give yourself a small reward. This helps your brain associate productivity with pleasure. A reward doesn't have to be a big deal. It can be something as simple as taking a 5-minute walk, getting a fresh cup of coffee or tea, listening to one song, stretching or doing a few push-ups. This practice is more than just a break. It's a reset. It allows your brain to shift from focused work to a more relaxed, creative state, which is essential for problem solving. This prevents burnout and keeps you energized for the next task. So, the next time you feel that urge to put something off, remember the procrastination paradox. It's not about a lack of willpower. It's about a lack of the right tools. The resistance you feel is not a flaw in your character. It's a signal. It's a signal to stop trying to conquer the whole mountain and instead find the first small step to take. By consistently applying these 3 simple steps, the 5-minute rule, the task breakdown, and the reward and reset, you can start to build momentum and transform your entire relationship with your work. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about building a system that makes it easy to do the work, even when you don't feel like it. I want you to try one of these steps today. Pick a task you've been putting off and just give it 5 minutes. Take a moment to really appreciate the progress you make, no matter how small it is. And I'd love to hear about your experience. Let me know in the comments below what task you started and how it felt to finally take that first step. If you found this helpful and want to take control of your time and your life, be sure to hit the subscribe button.